Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to bring you today a set of matches between HitEmUp and TopRamen. We are going to go to an early version of Rageslave. It's before I made some symmetry fixes and also updated the resource count, so I'm expecting some very aggressive and silly matches. Let's see what happens. HitEmUp has been playing as random, but it looks like he'll be Protoss this time around. I can't remember if he rolled it. I think if he rolls his race, he usually says his race. And, yeah, they're already talking about it. So this is me experimenting and seeing how the resources work. Technically, I think Brood War maps always had way more mineral fields than Cosmonarchy. So that was true in Rush Hour's main as well, at least the version that I had, which might have been a prank at some point. Mr. Cakes, Smarty Cakes is up here as well, and you can see Ramen taking a look at it. I guess this is their very first match on the map. It's an interesting map. I think structurally it will definitely have some bizarre aspects to it. Like, one of the things I've noticed is that it's actually really hard to defend this position with the unbuildable terrain here, so I'll probably shrink that up a little bit, ever so slightly. But because of that, you can't really place any sort of defense over here. And then this is also a mineral-only base, right? And so, like, maybe it's fine that you can't really place anything, but it's interesting. It's interesting. So you have a gateway in a couple of different spots. I don't know what HitEmUp means by that. That's definitely not the case. No. It was a pretty straight up adaptation. I don't know where he's getting that from. I've added a bunch of unbuildable tiles to where there was a bunch of unbuildable tiles, but I didn't keep all of the unbuildable tiles because it's Cosmonarchy and you need a lot of build space. So, in fact, I think one of the problems with adapting original Starcraft 1 maps to Cosmonarchy is the size of the mains is usually a bit too small. This one ended up being a little bit of an exception to that rule, but I'm not 100% sure how I think some of the spawns are probably going to be a little bit different with that. I feel like the top left spawn, the bottom left spawn are probably fine, but this mid right spawn here does have a little bit of an issue with like flowing a lot of ground production out of the ramp. And then of course the chokes are pretty tight, so pretty good stuff there. See, Quarry already coming up here for TopRamen. He has found his opponent. I don't think HitEmUp ever scouts until he builds a military unit, so this is not abnormal. But and then, yeah, Smarty Cake's talking about remaking it. Sure, go for it, dude. He might be talking about 76, which is a fucking disaster, but that was a 4-spawn map, so. Oh, look at this. He's stealing the gas. I can't believe it. I'm trying to think, what 3-spawn maps did they have in ASL recently? Obviously, Apocalypse is the most recent one, but before that, it was Neo Sylphid. Neither of them had double ramp, so. Yeah, I really wonder about that. Oh, no. I see. Ramen was trying to just, like, steal a bunch of resources over and over again. But his worker is basically as good as dead when it's that deep when the first military unit pops out, so I guess that's what was going on. Try to sortie a little bit with the vultures. He's obviously laid the mines at the choke and pumping out additional vultures. Probably going to go ahead and drop a treasury at the natural here. These are the kinds of... So the fact that this is like their first time on the map actually does tell me a couple of things, right? Because it kind of communicates to you that, like, okay, they are definitely going to be playing a little bit bizarrely. One base, gate into Ardent from HitEmUp, so he's definitely being cheeky. Probably go for an embassy after that if I had to speculate, since that will help you macro up after the envoy. Transport the Cantor across the map. Just saying, it's a possibility, but, with the soft contain here by the Ramen Vultures, he still has not put down a natural. He might be waiting for ministry money. At least that's what I would assume based on his fact that all of his queues have run silent. So, yep, there it is. It's going to be a ministry on location. So both of our players doing some interesting and greedy things. This is the embassy as predicted. Ramen going for a ministry expand on location with only a couple of vultures here, when theoretically, if this was 2-3 gate, that would be a pretty big deal. Oh, look at Zopies is hanging out here as well. Shout out Zopies. Vulture's going to go ahead and charge on forward, and they will see that indeed a Zealot is going to go down. But pretty good stuff there for HitEmUp. He's got the micro decently over in this situation. I remember that if these vultures get deep enough, Ramen looking away, I was typing. Well, Ramen was maybe also typing because he wasn't paying attention to his military. He should have definitely stabbed in here to figure out what was going on, because only seeing a small number of units here kind of indicates to you that, wait a second, what's happening? He's only got that many units, and I'm not sure why he decided to stick around with the fight. But either way, adding a couple of fulcrums, and yeah, that's the witness chat helping him out there, the OBS chat saying, "Hey, dude, can you type at me?" And then, like, as the other guy charges forward, so you know, there it goes. And they are, yeah, they're intended to be similar kinds of units, but naturally, the one that's a bit faster has a lot of, indeed, a lot of micro potential. But Smarty Cakes is just taking it right out of my face, dude. The words right out of my mouth. All right, we've got worker production for both players here. Envoy is here. It's desperately trying to pick up the Acantor. There's no automatic snow in this game. You don't get it automatically. And look at this. Is the Vulture gonna spot it? The Vulture might have seen it, but Ramen didn't look at the mini-map. Oh, he looked at it a little bit. He saw the dot. Is he gonna know that it's that? I mean, he's already putting down some watchdogs. Double Palladium over here. Doesn't have any hardly any combat units actually. Random watchdog in the front. Okay, it's gonna be used to scout at the by the mineral only. I guess there's a decent amount of time here. Oh my god, he's transferred all of his workers. Literally all of his mineral workers have been transferred to the other base, preemptively, expecting the Acantor or something. I don't know. Ramen, what's going on over here, my man? Making the one Cyclops. Okay, the bane of all Protoss. But here it is. Wait, where are your workers? Question mark. What the heck? I don't think HitEmUp was ready for that move. There's the other transfer. Oh my god. It's a Cyclops. It's here to take some damage. Some dodgeball. Oh my god. Holy, unloaded in his face and just annihilated him, dude. There's a Goliath coming, don't worry. I think Robin was definitely caught off guard by this. There's the worker transfer again. See ya. Zopies, you laggy gamer. Yeah, maybe there's some lag going on. I'm not sure. Yeah, Zopies actually, he was playing with Airbnb Wi-Fi or something. I was practicing against him, playing some silliness, some very, very silly matches with him, and it was pretty good. All right, there's the Goliath. Get this envoy out of here. Get it out of dodge. Get it out. Dodgeball. Okay, you only need 2 salvos to get rid of the shields, but you got to start focusing on that envoy, brother. You got to focus on that envoy, brother. Oh, unloaded in his face. Oh my god. Meanwhile, by the way, like back at the base, we've got Architect, we've got Nexus, got a bunch of gateways coming on down, because both players have been tunnel visioned pretty massively on this. Oh, 2 health left and it unloads. This is disgusting. Yep, that is true. Okay, now double Goliath. There's no way the envoy can survive. Yeah, get out of there, dude. Dodgeball. Dodgeball. All right, he's out. He might come back in later. Just utter terror, dude. Wait till you go bio against it. All right, zoned away by the auto pathing there. Oh, nice dodge on the secondary shot. Oh my god. All right, well, we have witnessed war crimes. There's a vulture. What's up, dude? Okay, see? Why are they spending micro on this dude? There's so much APM. They're not doing anything back at home. All right, back to it. Back to it, boys. Many vultures coming out. The worker count has fallen dramatically for Ramen. He's, I don't know what happened there. Like, he really just transferred massively over to this base, I guess defensively or something. But he was kind of like the double Palladium play with only 2 vultures out on the map, or maybe I think it was 1 vulture actually. That was pretty dicey. All right, this envoy is still performing heroics. Picks off 2 more Masons, laying some mines. Yeah, this is a good play. I don't know where those guys were, but I guess they got lost a long time ago. Rescued. Like in a campaign mission. Dude, if I add butter to the game, just shoot me, honestly. All right, spotted the move out with that 5 HP Vulture. That is worth your money. The question is, can you hold it? Only 2 phalanxes. We've got 2 more coming. This is the ground pound that we knew was going to happen, and yet there's not that much mine coverage. There's a couple of units sort of scattered around. These phalanxes in a very vulnerable position. And sure, you know, like this is going to help. But yeah, unload right in his face. The envoy does finally go down, but it's that Acantor has splashed so many of the phalanxes. 2 of them, or both of them, go down immediately. We've got 2 more coming. They're about to finish. Maybe Ramen can try to hold out over here, but the 3rd base is already coming up for our Protoss player, and GG has to be called. HitEmUp has done it. And you know what? He is by and far and away the favorite I didn't actually see the last chat message there. That's too bad. He's by far and away the favorite. I would say not just in this matchup, but as a in general, right? Like if we're talking about trying to play out the idea of what happens in Tyrant's Tale, which is our lore tournament, our 1v1 tournament that's coming up here. You could think of it as a prestige tournament that isn't the headline premier one. You know, it's like a tier below, what do you call it? Acropolis, right? So it's pretty cool in that respect. But yeah, HitEmUp playing Protoss again over here. Oh, I didn't guess colors in the last match. Oh, that was a missed opportunity. But yeah, I would say HitEmUp is a top 1 Cosmonarchy player, and I expect him to win the tournament. He the only thing that is like the asterisk is whether or not he can contain his nerves. But is he really going to have nerves when facing off against the players who are likely to beat him? That's the thing. I can see his nerves overtaking him in the context of something like, oh, he's up against the Shambler. And the reason I say that is because the Shambler is like, he's the one who's under HitEmUp's skin. And I know he's going to you this video. He always posts you in all the videos. Shout out Shambler Man. But that could be something that Shambler could use against him if he ever meets him. The question is, if HitEmUp proceeds up in the upper bracket, but then the Shambler can't make it past his first matchup, which currently is going to be Arbuz. We're not 100% sure how the final seeding will take place, but that seems like it will be the mission. The way that I'm basically handling seeding is taking a look at people's practice schedules, trying to be up with all the results at the very least, and then also, some actual analysis of their play. Do they pass the eye test, so to speak? You don't want to purely go off of win rates. People are practicing in some of these games, and their strategies are not good. It's not going to be like an actual tournament match, but also taking into account previous experience in other parts of tournaments and other matches like that. So I feel like it's all worthwhile. It's all fair to point out. Now, HitEmUp is over here putting his first gateway down. And the Quarry adding on over here for Ramen. Same exact build, same exact spawns. And this time HitEmUp is scouting, so he's not going to be doing the same shenanigans as last time. Maybe I just missed his opening scribe scout. But I'm not sure. I don't think I did. Because I feel like I would have noticed it, and I feel like I would have seen, oh no, the pylon in your face! Well, I guess that keeps the Vulture at home, question mark? I don't know why. You just walk away and then, yeah, cancel that. I felt pretty slick when I put down one of those pylons in somebody's face, and then I just had it on a control group, and I kept like switching back to it to check the progress bar, and then I canceled it at the last second without even looking, and I thought, man, whoever's spectating this game right now must think I'm Gosu. I think I did win that game, but it did not look good. So, that was the best part of the game for me. That was the best part of how I felt and how it looked for me. But that's about it. Now, this Hierophant does have to turn and change tune as the second Vulture comes in. It does have the attack speed increase, but it's still not going to be enough to deal with that. So he will end up losing the Hierophant. He should be able to pick the second Vulture with the second Hierophant, but still, that's actually a lot of resources. And look at that! Actually, the Vulture would have been able to escape if Ramen had been on the ball and just right-clicked it back to his main. So even there, a little bit of micro could have gone a long way for either player, but definitely interesting little stuff there. Technically, a resource win for HitEmUp, but the mines are already out, and that is part of the efficiency of the Vulture. So in that situation, it's not too bad. And I don't know what this Mason is accompanying the Vultures for. That'll be interesting to keep tabs on. Probably going to go ahead and put down a faster Watchdog Scout, because we were seeing double Embassy over here. You know that you can just throw down one Palladium and second Fulcrum and start pushing with the Phalanxes and such. So I feel like that's going to be the telegraphed move here from Ramen. We'll see if he can make it happen. I've been told of the double, triple, quadruple Embassy plays that HitEmUp does. I know he does quadruple Larvosk sometimes on one base, and so being able to see that sort of stuff here will be interesting. And what is Ramen's reaction? He's going to get a much faster scout this time around, and I feel like that's a good adaptation compared to what happened previously. It is 100 minerals for the Watchdog. You're probably not going to be able to get it back. We've got double Witness coming, so that's actually a pretty big economic hit for HitEmUp before he can really turn that into anything combat oriented. But as soon as you see that with the Watchdog, which is finished and is already taking flight, heading over to the area, it's actually going to go by the units. It shouldn't matter because the Watchdog has pretty far vision radius, as you can see. Yeah, he's actually moving it up here. So he's going to see the embassies. He should actually even see the witnesses pop out of the top one there. Let's see. He'll definitely see the cloak there. And so when you see double embassy, okay, I need to start thinking about how to punish this. Could be a star pad. He's got a lot of Vespian already in the bank. Could definitely, I would say, go for like 2 Fulcrum Palladium. And yeah, that's interesting stuff here. The Vulture going to see if it can do a move out. There are 4 Vultures out. That's going to be able to deal with the Zealot. That's what I meant to say. The the zealot trying to do a move out, not the vulture. And yeah, it's actually going to be forced back. Nice mine coverage. Witness is there for that. Also seeing that there's a ministry on the way. Nexus is pretty late for HitEmUp by comparison, but he has the double embassy, so his worker count is going to be through the roof pretty soon. And yeah, definitely interesting. Second and third Fulcrum coming up. I'm not sure that looking at the embassy is not 125, 125, by the way. That's come on, man. Come on, brother. You're a Protoss player. You got to know that. You don't have to know that. You can just look at the website like I'm about to do while I'm following this battle that's happening. That is definitely going to favor the Protoss player, by the way. We don't actually have reinforcements coming in just yet. 3 Goliaths at a time being made. I don't know that that's the right choice, because static defense could definitely peel the Goliaths away. But I guess it's something, right? For a second, I thought he was going to throw down a lodestone just to snipe the Witness. Pretty good stuff there, pretty good stuff. I'm not sure that we will see advanced workers here. HitEmUp is adding the Grand Library. That's pretty cool. Definitely got a lot of workers. He's tying up with Ramen's worker count. Now, that being said, Ramen will have a quad worker production, a 4th Fulcrum as well coming online. I don't know. I don't think you want to answer greed with greed, unless you're Zerg. If you're Zerg, you can do whatever, but like you can definitely greed into somebody doing this. But when it comes to the Protoss and their situation, I would definitely say, you know, if they're going to do a greed thing, then you can kind of do your own thing, right? So anyway, the embassy is 150 minerals and 125 gas, so fact-checked, actually Witness seeing 6 Fulcrum. A heavy tier 1 push. By the way, that could also be wrong, because the website might be out of date. So now I'm going to do a double fact-check, actually, and open up the data file, since I can't preview the costs in the actual game. Oh, wait, actually, well, I can't do this, but I could type ucost, and then it would yell at me in the console. So you thought that maybe I could, but I couldn't, because XD. That being said, when I raise an issue in a cast over, usually Veek listens to that and finds that. And look at that, the website is out of date. So Smarty Cakes was right. So fuck you, Smarty Cakes, for making me wrong on a cast. And yeah, Zopi's asking the question that we all know. The answer is it depends, right? Because, and not the player, although shout out to It Depends, our homie from Spain, classic guy. If you go Ministry, it's an extra worker production queue, as opposed to the Treasury, which doesn't have that, but is half the cost mineral-wise, and I want to say like 75% of the time cost, something like that, so it comes online faster. And so, yeah, Ramen is right. It is better longer term, and definitely one of those situations that helps out there. Now, Crucible's going to finish up here to supercharge the Grand Library. We're going to see a lot of Atreus's come out. I actually think they're pretty underwhelming versus Phalanx. Crucially, that is not what Ramen is making. He's going double Scrapyard into single Palladium, doing non-stop Blackjacks. I guess the Atreus would be okay versus Blackjacks, but actually, that could spike up to a really powerful force. So you start getting like something like 8 Blackjacks plus the Goliaths and Vultures. I don't actually know if HitEmUp can hold that, because he's only got the 1 gate. His military production is literally 2 structures. That's it. Unless you've tried to factor. Oh, never mind. I tell a lie. The storm is out. 2 workers end up going down. All right, now they're going back. Now you definitely need the Watchdogs in over here pretty soon. Looks like this is called the force back temporarily. Now we're going to need to see a transfer. Storms do not stack, by the way, in terms of damage. What's the reaction here from Ramen? His reaction is to lose many more Masons. Oof. Even that one that made the Watchdog after. All right, so now the Envoy should get caught up over here. The answer to that question is definitely yeah. Wow, many Grand Libraries coming out here, and many more Cantavises as well. The Witness spotting for this kind of drop, it's definitely, once again, slowing Ramen down. Ramen wants to be opposite the map because his army is better. His army is better than what HitEmUp has. He needs to get across the map and actually use it, but he's terrified of the drops. He's trying to avoid all that stuff. And Atlas coming up here for Mr. Ramen. Zopi's mind is being blown by the fact that they don't have tech requirements. It's true. All right, it's a good denial, but the storm is now going to go away in that respect. Not really going to end up doing too much damage, just a couple of tickles at the very end. I like having a Phalanx in the mineral line. Definitely does help with that, but you can see here, oh! I never said that. Smarty Cakes is... You know what? Come on, Smarty Cakes. I already said fuck you jokingly. Don't make me say it again, because then people will think it's real. Wink, wink. It's not. Smooch you. Smooch you, Smarty Cakes. Smoochy Cakes. Dude, we got 3 Cantavis with the army for HitEmUp. He's charging forward. There was a really funny moment in way earlier in the server. I want to say like 3 years ago. Some demented person was talking about how storms stack, and I mentioned that they don't, and I posted screenshots of the code where it specifically prohibits them from stacking. And he was like, yeah, they do. They stack, totally. And he just kept saying that. And then after somebody else agreed with me and said, yeah, they don't stack, he was like, and then that same person was like, but imagine if they did stack. And he's like, yeah, that would be crazy. I was like, what the fuck? You're banned, dude. Fuck you. So anyway, that's just what it reminds me of. Speaking of, storms are coming out pretty en masse here. The Atriuses are going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Oh yeah, just walk underneath my own storm, why don't I? Now the storms are actually dealing with the mines pretty well. Hallucination coming out a little bit too late there, but is going to help clean that up. And you can see how, even though it looked really good for HitEmUp there with the fight, eventually the Phalanxes just deal a lot of damage. Another storm out of the Mineral Harvesters, that is going to definitely help soften them up for the Atriuses. We do get a single Cantavis scooped back up into that Envoy, or maybe it was always there in the mines on the way out. We're going to go ahead and start sabotaging the fallback of those Atriuses. But I think HitEmUp is back in control of the game. He's got a lot of Heralds, he's adding more Pylons, and adding another Nexus up here in the top right. Splatter in that Atrius. There you go. Oh. 1 HP. Ah, guillotined by the Goliath. But here's that. Oh, he tries. The Watchdog does do the initial job, but there it goes. This is maybe, you know, I love the spider. I love the lobotomy mine as it is now. That's a good option there for sure. It's going to take 2 shots out of that Phalanx. In fact, I might take 3 shots because of the flash shielding. No, it does end up putting him out of his misery. And yeah, the reason, by the way, the energy regenerates faster for everybody in Cosmonarchy. It's 10 per second after 2 seconds of not casting it. I was actually not sure if it should be like longer, like maybe the cooldown for it should be longer. It's just the same as flash shielding. And also out of combat HP regeneration, like for Zerg. So yeah, the whole point of Storm now is area denial for longer periods of time. And you can see it, Storm dropping is still very effective. Obviously, if you get into like pro-level mechanics for pulling the workers, you're going to deny a lot of the damage. But the mining denial, the mining time is still pretty significant. So have to wait and see. No spoilers. Yeah. That Cantavis almost making a fool of himself fighting against the Cyclops. I wonder which guys he's talking about. Could have been the Heralds, the Amaranths. I know Arbuz Budesh thinks that Heralds look cool. Wink. Nice Phalanx shots there to splatter the initial ground army. A Cantavis going down is pretty bad, but Amaranths are going to charge forward to start slicing and dicing on this undefended base. No Sentinels up. The one Cyclops tickling. Oh my god, it killed a Warden! Holy shit, that Cyclops is going to do some massive work. Another couple of bottom-line hits are mostly stunning the workers, but that's not that big of a deal because there was only a couple of Amaranths. He's going to kill another one. Oh my god, what a massacre of a man! Absolutely eviscerating and annihilating these Wardens, and he's going to do the same thing to the Pylon. The Witness continuing to scout because no lodestone or detection was made. Oh no! Right before he kills the Pylon, some units come up here and shut that one Cyclops down. Did a lot of damage, man. Did a lot of damage. Bracket in here going to, with no HP, is going to go ahead and chase this Mason down before he can build on location. So that's a little unfortunate for Ramen, who really did want to be able to start a base. I can't burrow. I can't get flash shielding. Dude, Terran workers underpowered. But cataphracts are en route. At least one cataphract is en route. Annihilated. I feel like one of the things that's a little seldom commented on or seldom used in these sort of mid stages of games is when you mix the branches, right? So there's like 3 distinct branches for each race in Cosmonarchy. And right now we've seen the armor branch, which is basically mech, right? And that's including the mantle. But there's also the orbital branch, which is the starport, starpad, etc. And then you also have the biotic branch, the raider branch, specifically is what it's called under Terran. And that's essentially bio, right? And so I think really one of the things you want to try to pair with is like, even if you go predominantly mech, having specialists from the other branches can really help. And by specialists, I both mean spellcasters, because that's our like sci-fi term for spellcaster is specialist, but also like you think about units that are just really good at particular things that really help to round out some of what the other units are doing. And so in the same way that bio with phalanxes is really strong, because phalanxes are kind of like this specialized unit, that have a particular combat role. You can also think about how mech can be really strong with clerics or shamans, because those are universal healing. That helps a lot for restoring a lot of the HP and the integrity of the mech units and such. Particularly, you think about blackjacks. Obviously, have a really strong synergy with shamans in particular versus splash damage and clerics in general. Because as long as they remain at 100% HP, the blackjacks remain very well statted. They move really fast. They attack very fast. That sort of thing. Finally, some detection comes out. That's another thing that you don't get out of the armor branch. There is 0 armor branch detectors. All of the detectors are the biotic branch has, or the raider branch rather, has a shaman, which can detect if it's deployed. And then the orbital branch has several detectors, the Antseal and the Seraph, those two. So I say several, I meant 2. Classic move. I was thinking about the Luminary, but that's a factional unit. You don't, you get it replacing the Seraph. Just a couple of vultures existing here to put some ass pain and hit him up neck of the woods, but it's really not that too, too significant. A couple of mines popping as well, stunning these amaranths. How stunning! Now there's a lodestone and an anchor over here. There's really very minimal defense. I think if even a couple amaranths come on by, that's essentially going to annihilate that. Taking another main as Protoss, always a good thing if you think about StarCraft 1, and you think about how Terran units can definitely be more cost efficient on a defensive push. And try to get into an entrenched position with the mines and the phalanxes and such. Definitely can be a pretty good move here. Now, the cataphracts are going to come out. These are the fixed cataphracts, it looks like. I'm trying to see if they're like damaging a billion units, but it doesn't look like they are. And indeed, the amaranths are starting to deal a lot of damage and also absorb a lot of damage. So the phalanxes trying to focus them down instead of dealing with the back line. And it looks like, yeah, I think a spectator probably hashed his, that does occasionally end up happening. And, Ramen's also just calling for some pot at this point because goddamn does he need it. Too busy typing to realize that his whole army is getting crushed. He did get a nuke off, which is something that we neglected to see there. Nice play from the Seraph. I don't know if it matters, though, at this point. He's trying his best with the phalanxes. He's got a nice stack of them, but he's mostly just killing his own units, right? The focus fire needs to be there so you can hit this back line. You think about the Heralds even. The Heralds basically, when they attack, they debuff a unit, and that unit becomes a font that whenever you attack it with some other unit, say the Amaranth, you're going to get shield steal. The Amaranth has innate shield steal as well, so these units are basically unkillable when you pair them with the Heralds. Stop irradiating and die like a man. I mean, double embassy. Is that really a manly play? I don't know. You didn't even make units. Wink, wink. Obviously made a lot of units now. Yeah, I feel like this is basically it. He's going to go for yet another round of irradiate. He sees that there's another base up here. Oof! You irradiate mech? Question mark? Yeah, you can irradiate anything. Just like you can heal anything with healing units. GG has to be called. Ramen ends up capitulating in the second match. And that is going to be a 2-0 for HitEmUp in this set of games. I only had 2 games to cast on this map. So we got to see some of the dynamics with the army rotations and some of the dynamics with a couple of the other details here and there. But all in all, I would say an interesting set, a display on Rageslave. Remember that the resources have been upped on the more recent version. I'm not 100% sure about some things like the unbuildable tile placements. And I also think that, it's just a map where the rush distance is pretty varied. Like, if you get a spawn like in those 2 games, the rush distance is very small. If you're in the left, top left and bottom left, then the rush distance is a little bit more normal. So it's kind of interesting that it will result in different things. Like, if the map was wider and the right spawn was pushed out a little bit more, then it would be a bit more normalizing. But as it is right now, it's very, I would say, dynamic in what kind of outcome you can get. So I hope you enjoyed this 2-game set. We're going to be casting some more of HitEmUp later on. And of course, I'll intersperse a couple of matches here and there that I end up live casting from the Tyrant's Tale qualifier, as I have been doing. A shout out to Mystery Meat, who recently defeated Jackie Langsky to move on in that bracket. And other than that, that's it. That's your news report. We'll have more matches played later on the day of recording, which is, of course, the previous day, at least right now. So GG's, and we'll see you guys very soon for more Cosmonarchy. Subscribe and donate on coffee and all that good shit. I'll see you guys around.